Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing this fine Tuesday evening? Let's get in here and pray. I pray your day has been amazing because mine has. It's been, we get to it in a minute. Thank you, God, for being Jehovah Nissi, the God of the banner. You place a hedge of protection in front of me, behind me, and on top of me. You keep me safe by any means necessary. Psalms 91, you place me underneath your mighty wing, and nothing shall by in any means harm me. No evil will befall me, neither will any plague come nigh my dwelling. 1,000 may fall at my left hand side, and 10,000 at my right, but it shall not come near me. No weapon formed against me will prosper. It will form, but I have the breakthrough formula from Jesus, Stove, and Arumala. Why all three? Because God is calling everybody that want to come and sit down at the table to come and sit down. God never put up rules and regulations that was humans, okay? And I walk in it instead of fussing about what it looks like. Just saying. Because God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. If you come on down and sit at the table, God got something to share with you. No matter what religion that you stand up under, God don't care. Jehovah Shalom, the God of peace, the peace that passes all understanding. Philippians 4, think on these things that are good and of a good report. And if I keep my mind stayed on God, God will keep me in perfect peace. It don't make sense, but it makes faith. Because what I have faith, I'm going to believe. And what I believe, I'm going to act on. And what I act on, I'm going to see it in the spirit realm before it comes into this realm. Why? Because remember, we're spirits first. We live in a body and we have a soul. So everything is going to happen in the spirit before we see anything. Jehovah Sabaoth, the God of hosts, you're here, you're there, you're everywhere. You are me, and I am you. God placed a small all spark in our hearts before we even enter this earth plane, before we entered into our mother's womb. God told Jeremiah in Jeremiah 1 and 2, he said, I knew thee before you enter your mother's womb. And if God said for one, he's saying it for all, because God is no respecter of person. God ain't like man. God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. If he said it, it is so, and you can count on it, because it's going to come to pass. Then let's break it down. God is not an aspect of love. God is love. God placed a small aspect of himself in our hearts so he could be with us. Okay, because that's how much God wanted to be with man. He wanted to have a piece of himself in us so we could communicate on a daily basis. So let's break it down. So how you see this love is based on how you see it. Break it down even further. It could be a foot, 3 feet. It could be 40. It could be 60. It could be 100 feet. It could be 1,000. It could be bigger than that. But it's based off Ephesians 3:20. God would do exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or think, according to how it works in you. So according to how you believe it is how you see God. That's how it works. And how you will see love. That's how it works. What you believe comes to pass, good or bad. We don't like that, but that's how it works. Jehovah Elohim, because God made us gods, meaning we can make our own life. Jehovah Elohim, the God of gods, we made all this stuff to put between us and God. And look, God said he don't have no problem with it because he gave us an opportunity to be gods over our own life. Don't you remember in Psalms 82, verse 8, it says, don't you know I said that you are gods? The reason why he said it is because he gave us authority over our own life. That means whatever we say, our words are either life or death. By our words, we are justified, or by them, we are condemned. Never allow your heart to condemn you, because that means your heart and your brain are not working together. You're saying something out of your mouth, but your heart don't believe it, but your brain does. So it's no heart and brain coherence going on right there. You see what I'm saying? Take it a little further. God said, come to him and let's have a conversation. Let's break that down. God is a her and a him because God is both divine feminine and divine masculine. So if you call God a her or you call him a him, it don't matter. We got all these rules and regulations with religion. You got to say it this way. No, you don't. How you see God is how you see God, and you see God just like that, okay? That's you and God relationship. Don't ever let somebody tell you what to do with you and God's relationship. That's between you and God. So let's break it down. God said, come to me before you go to all these other people, these gurus, these preachers, these priests, and all of that, because you're going to get hoodwinked, lied to, bamboozled. And then you're going to come to me. I've been there. I ain't just talking to you. I've been there. God said, come to me. So you got a word of knowledge. So when you get up in there and you ain't heard nothing that I said, you know Ink-A-Bible is written on that door and come on out, whether that's a church or business, no matter what it is. Family, it is what it is. The great separation is happening every day, whether you want to realize it or not. Jesus said he was going to put everybody against each other. It was going to be light and dark. It is what it is. Choosing God or not. Jehovah El Shaddai, the Most High God. Your name is higher than any name that is on this earth or the universe. If it can be congregated in a sentence and a punctuation put at the end of that, God is hiding that. Then if I try to think of something and try to tell you, it's going to be in a sentence or it's going to have a few paragraphs. So that means it's going to have a sentence and it's got punctuation. It's already taken care of. There's nothing we can do about that. God is hiding that. God made everything. He hovered over the darkness of the deep. Okay, hovered over the water. Okay. Jehovah Jireh, my provider, there is no lack. You're more than enough. You supply all I need. It may not look the way I thought it was going to look, but it's supplied. I'm worthy because I exist, and I exist because I'm worthy, because I come out of a womb of a woman. There's nothing that God will ever withhold from me. You are my source, and not the things on the outside of me. God will use people on this earth to bless me. See, wealth comes from the north, as above, so below. Not from the east, west, and the south. It will always be supplied supernaturally if I believe it. It's based on my frequency and my energy, which is key. If God is here and I'm over here, God said, come to me as you are. I get up and come to God, change my perspective. And that's what we do every time we go to somebody. You're changing your perspective. Make sure it's worth it when you get over there. Okay. Jehovah Rapha, my healer. You heal my mind, my soul, my body, and my spirit. You heal so much of me. Today I got in one of them positions doing some workout. I was like, all right, God, I'm going to need your assistance. Ooh, I be tickling myself. I tickle God too every time I do something like that. Jehovah Gamola, the God of the recompense. Ain't no getting even with people. Ain't no arguing with people. They know what they did. You know what they did. Why are we even going back and forth, wasting energy? Just send all that negative energy up to the Creator. Ask God to cleanse it and purify it. And send it back so you can send it back to the sender. Cleanse and purify. No blocking their path. No stopping their path. No matter what they done. Why? We got cause and effect, sowing and reaping, and corresponding action. Meaning everything that we say and we do is a deed. Meaning it's a seed in the ground, good or bad. And seeds turn to trees, oaks, and the mighty trees that's in Lebanon. Okay, them sycamores. Whatever you put in the ground comes back. I live under the law of assumption that it's already worked out, and I don't have to stress about it. Everything doesn't require my response or my fight. I choose my battles properly, and I leave those in God's hands. No fussing and no stressing me out, and so it will be, and so it be, and forevermore. Ain't nobody got time to be fussing about stuff that ain't got. It ain't even yours to deal with anyway. So let God handle it. How Boss Hog said it on Dukes of Hazzard, handle it. Let God handle it. Okay. Look in the description below to see a few items just for you. My books incorporate the essence of God. If you want to feel the presence of God, read In the Garden with the Father, Understanding True Intimacy. Why I can't get this today? Okay, there you go. You know why I couldn't get it together today. Sometimes it is what it is. Okay. This is on page 73. Woo, this is confirmation when me and God talked about. You're the marker, not the people you around and what you're connected to. You're the blessing in who you are and what you do. So you don't have to pretend and not be yourself around others. You never have to become someone else to get in the group. If you do, they're not your tribe. All right, let's go. And then we have Befriending the Shadow, Unshakable Peace, Unstoppable Change. Let me tell you something. Both of those are my shadow activity books. And why you say that? Because you get to have fun working on your shadow. Because if you're going to work with your inner child and your inner teenager needs fun. So you get a word of knowledge, something like that. You get a word of knowledge. Then you get And exercise fun. Then you get a shadow question, not so fun. It's going to cause you to look at yourself and ask yourself some deep questions. Then you're going to get a color page. God asked him to keep it between the ages of 5 and 10. Why? Because when you look at it, you're going to get a variation of emotions. Because most childhood wounding happens between the ages of 5 and 10. By the age of 7, it is solidified. By the age of 10, it is really solidified. By the age of 21 and 25, it is now your responsibility to work it out, going through a therapist or going to counseling, or find out any way that you want to do it. There's so many different ways to heal from wounds. Okay. And then you have 4 pages. It's 22 chapters per book. You have 4 pages of drawing, sketching, whatever you want to do. Because the closer you get to God, the more you start having Stranger Thing moments and X-File moments. Because the closer you get to God is you start seeing the angels, you start feeling the presence of the angels, and it's just amazing. It changes your life forever. Okay. And don't forget about my other 2 books that are already on the New York Times bestseller list: Influence and Impact with Chris Voss, and Mindset Matters with Jack Canfield. All of these are on Amazon, so go ahead and grab your copy. The only thing that's not on Amazon is my specialty journals that I have on my special own bookstore page. Okay. No matter what your background, because God don't care about your background, because God knows all the hairs on your head, even if you just got peach fuzz. Notebooks and journals for all, coloring books that help in meditating and recalibrating your mind. You'll see the link to the podcast with the Women Leveling Up done in May. You also see 3 magazines I was covered in September, October, and December. I placed my new link to my own personal bookstore. I'm excited about this venture. Why? I'm in charge of my own intellectual property. Like I said, a lot of stuff is on Amazon, except my specialty journals. There are some freebies added just for you. The link to the 105 spiritual laws. There was 7 in the Kabbalah with the initiates, but it really was 12 in another. And I said, God is not an author of confusion. Find out it is 105 spiritual laws. Time out disclaimer. Even though it's 105 spiritual laws, we are no longer underneath the Mosaic laws or law, period. When Jesus came, you could say Jesus was an archetype, but let me tell you something about that. If he was an archetype, why did they work so hard to take out certain books of the Bible? They took out 54 books that showed who he was, what he was about, and the prophecy before he even showed up. That's a lot to do for someone that didn't exist. I'm just saying, if he didn't exist, they did a lot of work to cover up somebody that didn't exist. And I'm going to leave that right there. All right. And then when he came, he gave us a way to love the unlovable. So how you do that? Boom, you put up a boundary. Boundaries up. All right. Then you say, I send nothing but cleansing and purifying energy to you, or I release you in love. Then you go on about your business and you let them go on about theirs. You are Abraham and Lot. You are going in 2 different directions. Okay. All right. Because you no longer agree. As Amos said, we can only walk together if we agree. Since you don't agree, we can't walk together. Then the disciples asked Jesus, how many times should I forgive my brother? 7 times. 7 times? Jesus said no, 7 times 70. That's 490 times. It feels like that because the process of releasing is a minute. Then is the Lord's Prayer. It says, forgive me of my debtors' debts as I forgive those that trespass against me. So that means is I forgive myself first before I forgive anybody. So it's always you first, then whoever else. So you put up the boundary, you release them, and then you say, God, I forgive myself. Why I forgive myself? Because I didn't know until I was hurt, until I was betrayed, who I really am. And I release that heaviness that I have to be this, this, and this, and this, and I have to be perfect, and I have to get everything together. That's a lie. That's a fallacy. No, you are a human being. Nothing you ever do is ever going to be perfect. So don't try to be in that a perfectionist, because you'll never start. So you just forgive yourself, and then you say, I release them and I forgive them as well. You're not forgiving them for them. You're forgiving them for you, because if you don't forgive them, you're stuck in a position like you got cement on your feet. The minute you forgive them, you're able to move forward. Otherwise, it's off with your head, okay? And you don't want that, because if you're stuck in a place, that means whoever was coming up behind you to harm you can get access to you. But as long as you're moving with God and you shaking and you moving and you forgiving and you constantly moving with God, Because remember, in the coming to the kingdom, you have to come like a child. And when you come like a child, you're constantly changing. We know everything, but we don't know anything. You see what I'm saying? That's what children do. They know a lot, but they really don't because they forget a lot. Because this keeps us from attachments as we go through each level and lesson taught to me by Jesus, Thoth, and Ishu. You see how each group is there, so you can't say you're not in a particular group. All right. The adjective and 400 values PDF. Do your science project change your whole character to this Sims? Your Sims character to this janky promoter game? That's what I did. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter and the juicy updates for the upcoming events. Don't forget to look at my new link for the school app. Gotten a few things together. Come on over and check us out. I was inducted into the new class of Who's Who, as well as with influential women worldwide and worldwide women. And while I was cleaning up in the office, cleaning up here in the room, I found this. Look at this. This is what I received in 2017 when I was helping women and teenage girls come out of sex trafficking. And then I had a whole lot of people helping me, and all of a sudden they was gone. And they went to help somebody else with theirs. And that's all good. Sometimes you just gotta when people want to leave, you let them go. You don't hold on to nothing. You hear me? Let them go. All right. And then I was helping young girls that wanted their came out to their parents and said they were LGBTQAI. And the ones that came out and said they was pregnant, they told their parents kicked them out. Well, we was in a particular state that is sex trafficking capital. We had interstates everywhere. So if somebody was ever grabbed and taken on the interstate, that was it. They is gone. So, and I'm just like, they're going to be on the news. Somebody bring my baby back. But you put them out there. Can't do that. So I took them to places, or I let them stay at the place I had, if I had room, and made sure they was okay, because you don't take someone somewhere and just leave them. Okay. Because I was homeless, I know what that feels like. And then I was helping out domestic violence, women that was in domestic violence. We lost 2 of them because they kept going back, and there's nothing you can do about that. Why? You can't hold somebody against their will and tell them that you know better. What somebody wants is what somebody wants, and you can't keep them from that. Okay? Everybody's addicted to something, whether we want to be honest with it or not. We beat up on people that's addicted to this and this and this, but we looking at ours as an intention, but it's still an addiction. Okay. And then, just so we don't get to judge somebody. And then I was helping families that had lost everything in a flood or a fire. And everybody knew that I had a nonprofit where I was at. So I would have stuff in the house, and I was like, wait a minute, I need to get some of this. This stuff is taking over the house. So I had a storage for a building, and I would put like beds and mattresses and clothes. And people was giving me really nice stuff. Some of the stuff hadn't even been worn yet. They were just in their closets. And so when the people came, I said, how many bedrooms you need? And they told me, and I said, well, only take how many bedrooms you need, because somebody else is coming. And then on top of that, I would give them like little Ziploc bags of like toiletries, toothpaste, the stuff you needed. You done lost everything. And now, your whole mind is, you're in shock. You just lost everything in seconds. So you don't have a toothbrush, you don't have none of that. And I know the Red Cross and everything was helping out, but at the same time, you don't have the simple things. So I gave the ladies the packets for the menstrual packets, as well as make sure they have fingernail polish and fingernail polish remover. Just because you lost everything doesn't mean you won't want to be cute. Okay, you just want to feel human for a minute. You lost everything, you're in shock. You just want to come back to yourself for a few minutes, okay? Because it'll help you bring yourself back inside your body. Because when you go into shock, you come out of your body. So that's something that they can meditate and come on back into their body. And then on top of that, I was helping out this one family for Thanksgiving. And she said that she had just got laid off, but then she said a lot of people was getting laid off. So I found out the names that she could give me. I put them in a bowl, and I took out 2 names. I found out how many children they had, and each child got 2 gifts for Christmas, because that's what I could do with what I was working with. Okay. And then I made sure their food was catered for Christmas. It was 2 families, and I went to Honey Baked Ham and catered their food. Then I gave them $150 for Christmas of groceries. And then I also sent women to therapy for like 3 to 6 months. You had to look on my webpage. I can't remember all of that. And it was either I gave them $150 or $250 for groceries. So to take off some of the heaviness off of them, because it was a lot going on during that time. Okay. I'm just thankful that God says whatever you do in the private, God will reward you in public. I'm just glad that God doesn't need a whole bunch of fanfare, because I took pictures, but I put them on my website, because I didn't take pictures of the women that was in domestic violence or the children, because it didn't sit right with me. It just didn't. So I didn't do that. It didn't feel right to me. Somebody else may do it, but the gumption in me said no. Don't forget to look at the link to receive 25% off your first order. This is the company I use along with all natural remedies for my assistance for the diagnosis I received for breast cancer. They told me I only had 6 months to live, and I told them, you a lie. I'm not finna go nowhere. The devil is a lie. I'm gonna be here. I haven't finished doing what I want to do on this earth, and I'm gonna stay here. And they was like, I know it's all on your left hand side. I said, I heard what you said, but I know what I said. I said the devil is a lie. And I said, I bind up every disease, every germ, every bacteria, every growth, every tumor, every parasite, and I cursed it to the root. And I said, I loose the blood of Jesus, and I loose the hand of God. And I said, and I take full responsibility for what I did. That's when you get God involved. You take full responsibility. Mhm. I said, I take full responsibility of what I did, because I did hand to mouth, hand to mouth. I did that to myself. I wasn't paying attention. It tastes good. I was just eating it. I wasn't paying attention. Yes, they put chemicals in their food and everything, and I had a right to be upset because I didn't know. I was unawares of what was going on, and I was just eating the food. However, I put the food to my mouth. I took responsibility, and I said, we need to change. They said, what you doing? I said, I'm putting my order in, so when I come back with my testimony, you know what happened. I went home, talked to God. God said, get that naturopathic doctor. Did it. Got the naturopathic doctor. Pulled out everything that Dr. Sebi said on alkaline. Showed them. They said, that's great, but your blood type will make these particular vegetables and fruit. There was some on the list, and it said, you can't have that or that, because it's going to turn to acid, and we need your body full alkaline in order to heal. I said, say less. And so then I listened to my ancestors, got the dandelion, got that morning glory. If you smoke weed and you can't afford it, go get you that morning glory, that purple flower in the backyard that grows up in the grass, dry it out. There you go. All right, because there's more to be put in a peace pipe instead of just weed. All right, and tobacco. Then there is this grass that's called I call it crabgrass. It's the darkest part of your grass in the backyard, and then it's got these long pieces. With the long pieces, if you dig it up, it's onions, it's wild onions, and it's like scallions. And you can cut it up and put it in your food. It's delicious. Okay. And then you have poke salad. Poke salad looks like cilantro and lettuce had a baby together, and they serrated around the edges. Here in this country, they sell it as cilantro, but it is poke salad. All right. And I put up the pictures. I think I did. If I didn't, I'm gonna put them up. I thought I put it up, but okay, honey. And then I put that on top of my spinach, underneath my jasmine rice, and the jasmine rice was hot and it wilted it, but it still left it crunchy, so it could go into my system and do what it needed to do with the chlorophyll and all of that. And then I was drinking chlorophyll too. You know what I'm saying? I was doing everything that my naturopathic doctor was like, we need to keep your body alkaline as possible. All right. And then I would go to the farmer's market and find stuff, and I would tell them my story, and they was like, well, wait a minute, I got this and this and this and this. And I started eating that. I'm not there now, but they was like this yellow watermelon. I was like, oh my God, it was so delicious. Sweeter than any other watermelon I've ever had, but it was so delicious. And then I put that jasmine rice with the zucchini, squash, red onions, red orange, and yellow bell peppers, and added in some seafood every now and then, so I get my omega-3s. And then every now and then, my naturopathic doctor would say this: you need to add in some red meat, because we need to get your white blood cells up for your T cells. And I said, say less, because we need to get it up so we can keep fighting. And I said, okay. She said, because they kind of low. I said, well, say less, because they had this machine where you could put it down and you could scan your hand, and they'll tell you everything about your body. Instead of you getting poked and prodded and finding out, there's a scan where you don't have to do all that. Psalms 91, 1 through 6, NLT. Those who live in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty. The shadow is amazing. This I declare of the Lord. He alone is my refuge and is my place of safety and is. He is my God and is, and I trust him 100%. But you still can always go get your blood checked, okay? Especially women, because our stuff is on the inside of us. All right. For he will rescue you from every trap and did and still does, and protect me from every deadly disease and still does. He will cover you with his feathers and shelter with his mighty wings. He is faithful to his promises. Talk about God's promises. God's promises are yes and amen to every day of the week. However, if you feel a pause, that's because you did like me and asked for something. The law of opulence, because he said, ask big, and I got big. And I said, okay. And God said, all right, I'm going to give it to you, everything that you asked for. But every day I need you to take small steps to get towards what you say. Even if it's a changing your mindset shift, changing your mind, changing your perspective. Because when you do that and you change your perspective, you put yourself on a whole different trajectory to and everything is going in a different way. He said, do anything that you know is going to change. I said, well, say less. And I look at God like this every time I say less, because child, I'm like, yeah. My armor and my protection. I'm not afraid of the terrors of the night, that is night terrors, nor the bullets that fly at day. I do not dread a disease that stalks in darkness. Why? David told us in Psalm 23. He said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. My rod and staff. Who knew? My spine and shoulder to shoulder was my cross. Jesus said, pick up your cross daily and follow me. That's what he told the disciples. That's what he told the people. The people said, what do I do to be saved? He was like, pick up your cross daily and follow me. They was like, all right, but they was like, what is he talking about? And for years I was in church. I'm like, what is he talking about? He's talking about the cross I bear. That ain't got nothing to do with what he was talking about. Okay. And then this right here is your 0 point. This is where your higher self sits. That's why you can hear yourself and God right there. So they just be communicating. Honey, that brain heart communication, there it is. That coherence. All right. And then it says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Woo! And then you go to Isaiah 53, and it says, God will send the angels to go before us to set a sun and to make the crooked places straight, and God is always our rear guide. Come back, God is always my rear guide, being goodness and mercy, following me all the days of my life, making sure he's taking care of my sick so nobody don't sneak up on me and give me a sneak attack. Because remember, we spirit beings first, and they try to do sneak attacks because they grimy like that. Okay, and God said, not on my watch. And then it says, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. What? We are the house of the Lord. God is living in our hearts. We are the house of the Lord. And then how it says forever. Why? Let's talk about it. Because we are the light, the spirit beings from God. God made everything. So that's what we're going back to. Or we could choose another spot how we live here on this earth. It's up to you. It ain't my decision. You decide every day about what you do. Nor the disaster that strikes at midday. Every time you make a decision, every time we make a decision, we decide where we're going. You can say one thing out your mouth, but your decision say everything else. Mm-hmm. Hand over heart for your affirmation. I am not society script. I am my own definition. I am not of this system, but a flame from God's source, the divine. I don't stress about what I can't physically fix. If I can't fix it in 15 minutes, I let it go. I let go of that attachment and I monitor the use of my own energy. Ain't nobody got time to be wasting energy about nothing. Do you hear me? Let it go. It ain't that serious. Remember when we used to have block parties with families, or let's say this, or when we went to a family's house or someone's house and they grilled out and it was like a togetherness. Everyone showed up, no matter the color. I remember that because a lot of my family was in the military, so I just remember everybody coming over. Um, Everybody was invited to the cookout because it was a lot of people that was in the military, and so they would come home, whether it was Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Reserves, uh, what is that? Coast Guard. Everybody was It was invited. Even if you all you had was vegetables from your home garden. What if we decide to go into work or work from home in our brightest colors? That's why I chose my blue day. That can change the mood to joy and monitor your own energy. Or what if we would get together and have a block party? It would change the love of the neighborhood, or have a barbecue. Even if it's cold. Let me tell you something. I was in the military and we'd be burning up barbecue. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Suppose you're not completely at the level of your weight management yet, and you decide, still, I love all of me. Then put on clothes or tailor your clothes to what allows you to feel sexy right now in the moment. You are where you are until you can go to the next place. Don't say, well, I'ma wait. Wear what you have, and seam it in, and fix the seams, and do what you need to do where you are right now. Okay, love all of you. What if you take a walk instead of run, to take all the beauty of the nature and breathe in deeply, giving gratitude for where you are right now? Where you are is allowing you to grow to full capacity, even if you don't even know where you are. Find a reason to be grateful. Why? Someone is trying to manifest where you are right now at this very moment. To them, you're in a place of high honor and you complaining. Will you show yourself high honor for getting there? Even if it's just a small celebration with just you and a little bit of music. And do a dance just for you. You don't need a crowd to be happy. Just you, because others are a bonus to love you that you already have inside. Stay clear of the takers because they don't know when to stop. Your job and only job is to love every inch. I don't care if you pinch the side of yourself. Ooh, that's nice. I've been working out. That's good. I've been working out, y'all. That feels good. I used to have 2 inches. I only have an inch now. Hush your fuss, God. I didn't even know you told me to do it. Okay, I don't even care if you got 4 inches when you pinch over here. Love every inch of you. That's your job. I don't care what nobody else say. Bump them. They don't live in your body. You do. And if you don't like what they saying and you don't like how you feeling, you can change it. One thing at a time, child. Then that intensity of love is shared with others. When others try to stop that, cut off that energy. You ain't got to stay around them, and you ain't got to tell them why you cut it off, and bring all your energy back to you. What are we doing out? What are we doing outside of parodies and videos about what we don't like? I'm just asking for a friend. Are we working on ourselves, or we just doing a parody and going back? Because see, what we have a habit of doing as humans is we get caught up in a situation and everybody like rah 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 rah. And then after the situation is over, oh, back to what we was doing. I hate you. I don't like you. You are ugly. You are black. You are this. You are. Mm-mm. Are we changing on the inside? I'm just asking for a friend. Are we healing or just pointing fingers? Because everybody's underneath the same colonization rule. Everybody's saying the same thing. You can't blame somebody. But see, what happens is this is what happens with Stockholm syndrome. You love on the person that's hurting you, and you stop on the person that's underneath you. Does it make sense? No, but this is what happens when you under psychological warfare. You don't go off on the person that's hurting you because you under Stockholm syndrome. You hurt the person underneath you, which is Iggy, because they underneath you because of the classism. That's weird to me, but that shows you also your level of hurt. Boom. In your private time, look around in your heart. Just look around. Ask God to help you turn this heart of stone to heart of flesh. Why? Someone you can, so you can feel again and hear wisdom from God to walk your path properly. You're amazing if you can only see it. See, some people are gatekeepers. If you get past where you are, you take away the mysticism of their position in life. Find ways to love all of you and allow all of that love to pour out all of you daily in your own unique way. Your voice is needed. Only you can do it in the way you do it. And we love it that way. Symptom today. I did a lot of meditation to stay centered. Lots of things was going on, trying to get me uncentered off my axis to pull me in. But see, I control my emotions, not life. When you know what triggers you, you get to work on it so it doesn't trigger you anymore. So then they find another way to trigger, and guess what? And then you find another way to work with that trigger. Because once you take away all the triggers, your fingers on the gun, but you ain't triggering. You ain't shooting it. Why? Cause I love myself. I love myself. I'm just saying, love yourself again. I exercise on a different level. I'm up to 150 crunches. Ooh, I felt so proud of myself today. Let's talk about it. 50 in the front, 50 to the left, and 50 to the right. Why is that such a big deal? We used to do a whole bunch in the military. A whole bunch. Like 200 to 100 on each side. It would be like 100 and 200 in the front, 100 and 200 on the left, 100 or 200 on the right. And see, I started about 5 weeks ago. And now I'm holding at 50 on each for 2 weeks to build up my energy flow. And I've been, like I said, I pinch my edges over here. And I used to be 2 inches out there, and I don't feel the inches no more. I'm like, well, come on, I'm doing pretty good. Sometimes you don't notice it because you ain't paying attention. I didn't feel it till God said pinch your sides. And to keep moving. And then I did 50 leg lifts on each leg. I'm getting back in and going in strong. I heard too legit to quit. Hey, too legit to quit. Get butt, get butt, get butt, get butt, get gut. Don't nobody know what I'm talking about. Unless she was in the 80s, I had full chills. MCM, unless you was in the 80s, you don't understand nothing I just did. I'll go watch the video. You see what I'm talking about. I heard my favorite things by Sound of Music. Um, when the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad. These are a few of my favorite things, and I don't feel so bad. Oh my God. The Sound of Music with Julie Andrews, you are not ready. That's childhood. The Von Trapp singers, oh my gosh, that's everything. Ah, woo. When I sing, I feel so happy, and then I dance. You should try it too. Try it. It's fun. It breaks up the monotony of life because sometimes we get so serious and we forget to have fun. The inner child needs to have some fun. Just do a little something, something. Even if you got to go to the bathroom and get in a stall because your office is kind of stuffy, and just get in there and laugh and giggle and come out. Noticing how many are doing the quick work that still leaves you empty, treating symptoms with no core truth. Looking inside takes time, so be honest with yourself. Realizing every time I see a vision or think about a dream that it's close to me, and I'm casting my higher self forward while I walk it out on the earth plane. What I'm talking about? Oh, okay. Let's just say you have a dream, right? Your higher self is showing you that it exists somewhere out here. It's showing you it exists somewhere. And God has sent that to you to show you it exists somewhere. Now you get the opportunity to use Ephesians 3 and 1. God has given us all things in spiritual places. And then you get to pull it down by constantly seeing the vision, speaking to the vision, walking in the vision, putting yourself in the vision, laughing in the vision, being in the vision, touching the vision, saying you already have it, being it, walking as if it's already there, smelling it, talking about it while you by yourself because everybody can't handle it. Just be all with it, and even put on your strong English accent, whatever you want to do. Play around with it. Just have fun. Be all in it, because that brings it to you. Realizing, and I put that more than once. Why? I don't know. Oh, yeah. There's a reason. Realizing I cast it forward and and showing myself I want more. My plan shows me how to get there, and my willingness to surrender to the process of getting there. Let's be honest. Life never goes the way you plan it. We get to co-create with God as we walk with God on a daily. So the dream is your own personal forecast for you to live forward. Don't share that with just anyone, because not anyone can hold you or show you how to get there. Trust your intuition as you go forward. Realize that when people try to tear down your name, they will say you're dumb and stupid or less than. Remember this: if they're tearing it down but can't stay away, that means that you have more going on than you think. Only bullies try to control the narrative. Remember that. I was feeling odd with the fact something this kind of got to me. I was feeling odd to the fact that a linguist is studying FBAs. At first, I was flattered, and then I realized whenever they study us, we end up with stuff we don't want or worse. That's why we don't share about our language or how we or we just keep switching it up like the Navajo code talkers in their language. It makes me wonder, I read Acts 14 today. You could try it too. And then I saw something in the Quran today, just doing studies. I think it was 247. I think it was 247. I think that's what it was because I didn't write it down. But I'm always learning something. My goal is this: is to step out of my comfort zone and then learn something, even though it doesn't correlate to me, because that means when I'm out and about and I do meet someone of that particular religion, we can have a conversation, even though we don't know each other. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just being in the circle that I'm in, instead of learning it to have a stronghold on someone, learning it to say, okay, so basically, this is the same as what I'm doing. Wow, I never saw it like that, because they keep putting boundaries in front of it, saying you this and you that and you this and you that and you this and you that. You know, when you put labels on stuff, it's kind of hard for everybody to get to know each other because it's a label. Everyone gets the opportunity to do their own work and see things in their own timing. It's hard when we love folks, but in their own timing. Okay, keep going. They get the opportunity to decide just like you did. We don't get the opportunity to hold somebody down. That's just wrong. I know you care for them, but what are they showing you? Are you really paying attention to what's going on? Some want to only connect when they feel you growing. Let them go to learn their own lessons. They will hold you down from moving forward. Just let go. It'll be okay. God has you and them. Trust that. Everyone must work out their own salvation with fear and trembling. Trust in God. Don't carry somebody else's battle. That's Philippians 2 and 12. That's too much weight for you. Don't be carrying somebody else's stuff. Let that go. Save yourself and keep going. Give them wisdom as you're climbing the ladder. Okay. James 1:19 through 21 NLT. Don't allow anyone to take your power or your energy. That is your energy. That is your power. You work for that. You studied all them years for that. Okay. Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. We must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. Because human anger doesn't produce the righteousness God desires. It's different in that anger. Righteous anger will cause you to do something and say, this needs to change. So get rid of all the negative thinking and humbly accept the word that God has planted in your hearts. For it has a power to save your souls. And it really will, because you will think about what God told you, and you be like, you know what? I see it differently now. Verses like the Quran 17:53 and 4148 highlight the importance of speaking kindly, avoiding slander, and speaking the truth, and not gossiping. Are we doing that? And 2:254, this emphasizes that it's not for those of creation under Allah to question Allah's decisions because Allah knows better, just like God. It requires a believer to surrender to Allah's will, which is the message of faith and surrender to divine authority. We're doing the same thing to God, so I'm just trying to figure this out. It doesn't make sense to me how when we're doing the same thing. Do we really know who we are? It's time that we get into our studies. Whatever you in, because I have no idea. Pray, meditate, and find out who you are. Be so secure when things come to steal your joy, you bounce back quicker because it's meant to throw you off your rocker. That's when resilience comes in, and resilience comes in by the stuff you do every day. Are you stepping out of your comfort zone every day? I'm still saying, or are you staying with the same people every day? Because this is my birthright. I am worthy of love. That is my birthright. I came out of a womb of a woman. That is my birthright. That is my spiritual birthright. I am worthy of a life I love. That is my birthright. That is my spiritual birthright. Okay. I have a right to be worthy of the life and love the life I'm living. I'm worthy of a rounded, wealthy life. I'm worthy of a life that is infinite in wealth, infinite in every realm that God has set on this world. I am worthy of the dream that is in my heart. That is my birthright. Because if God put it here, it's gonna come to pass. As long as we don't stop. I release the timelines that's no longer for me. Let's talk about that. I'm not angry with you. I'm not bitter with you. I'm not frustrated with you. I'm not tiffy with you. I'm not none of that. I'm just done. You did what you did. You thought it was great. I picked up on it. I said, you grown, I'm grown. I don't need to ask you why you did it. You did it because you thought it was cute. Have a great life. We're like Abraham and Lot now. We no longer can walk together because we don't agree. So guess what I'm going to do? Put up a boundary. I send nothing but cleansing and purifying energy, and I release you in love. Have no ought against you. I send you forward to find your way because I'm going on my path, and I pray you find yours. No ill will to you, just you can't walk with me no more. You can't sit at my table with your plate no more. Can't sit here, my favorite line of Forrest Gump. Can't sit with me. Thank you. But you played yourself. How Ice Cube said. You done wrecked yourself. Okay, so enjoy yourself. I release the timelines that require me to shrink. If it requires me not to be myself, when I probably won't be around you. But let's make it straight. I'm not gonna be around you because if I can't be all my quirkiness, have a great life. I'm not rushing or placing pressure on myself. I'm just open for clear communication and wisdom on my next move in stillness. The stillness is amazing. Once you get still, you start hearing stuff, and stuff sinks in better when you get in stillness and get by yourself for a minute. I walk forward lighter, clearer, and deeply supported. I'm never alone. I have my ancestors, angels, and God. That is a threefold cord. And let me tell you something. That's not easily broken. I'm so secure knowing, even if I'm walking by myself, I'm never alone. Because when my ancestors jump out and do that guerrilla warfare on you, honey, you on your own. Because honey, all of them didn't do right while they was here. But they still my peeps. Okay. But they in the spirit realm. All I know, only thing I'm going to say is, when they get released, it is what it is. Angels always bring me in something amazing that causes my heart to light up. It never fails. It never fails. The angels are they amazing. Make sure you release your angels to go ahead and start taking care of you. I'm aware enough to pause, breathe, and sit still for the next move, or just know that I am loved in every way that love can show itself. There's 101 million ways for love to show itself. And you have more angels around you than you know. When you release them, you'll see them start showing out for you. People go out of their way to do me good because of the favor of God on my life. Rules, laws, regulations, red tape, is removed from me. It is said we don't even usually do this. They just can't help it. I can't help it either. But if God, my intuition, and my ancestors said, let go, I'm letting go. Hands is up, and I don't have you give you a reason why I let go. It is what it is. You know what you did. I have miracles every day, and uncommon blessings find me without me even searching for them. They just fall upon me because I'm aligned. Once you start doing what God asks you to do, you get an alignment. When you get an alignment, stuff just start falling on you, and you gotta ask for it. It just show up and allow God to praise all his lavish love upon you, because that's he loves to do lavish love. I don't consent to any control. I am grounded, safe, and fully in control of myself, untouchable, and fully sovereign in myself. All cords are removed from me. Cut, snip, snip, burn, burn. I sever the cord of connection. I'm worthy of my dreams and everything my heart desires. Because if it's in my heart, God put it there. That's our covenant. And you best believe it's going to come to pass. I may have to stand on some stuff, but it's coming to pass. It will come to pass. Thank you, Miss Jackson Carr. I allow clear thinking to find me without fighting for it. I don't have to fight for it. I don't have to compete with you. I don't have to yell with you. I don't have to go toe to toe with you. I just release myself from your energy. I am worthy of seeing all my dreams come true while seeing the light in darkness in any moment. If I can look up here to see this situation from a different perspective, I can change my whole life. I saw this somewhere, and I said, that's mine now. I added a little bit to it. All things come to me in perfect, mature timing for my highest outcome and for the good of all. Because if I win, you win. If you win, I win. Why? Because you sharing your wisdom and I'm sharing mine. And we put all that together, we got a whole pie. Money comes back to me multiplied on every dollar that it was spent. Double, triple, quadruple, 100-fold on every dime that was spent, what was taken, and everything that I didn't know of, and anything that my ancestors didn't claim. Oh, that's mine. But they my people. I'm willing to open space for things I truly want by being gentle with myself. I'm intentional with love for myself. Y'all, the way I loved on myself today. Love yourself like nobody else can and watch what happens around you. I saw this on Google and I said, okay, Google. And I put some seasoning and some hot sauce. Spirit. If it's in my highest good. I remove all energy that doesn't belong to me from my energy field and I send it back to the rightful owner. Why? Let's talk about it. Sometimes they are spirits attached to you to keep you on in line, to keep you going on the line. But once you go where you need to, it'll be released. Cleansed and purified no matter where we originally met. Universe, world, timeline, dimension, realm, even a space rock. I sever the cord of connection. The lessons have been learned, and I release you to find your own way because I'm gonna find mine. Okay. I call all my energy fragments back to me now. Just like Magneto, I am free. I am free. I am free, honey. How Tom Petty say I'm free falling? That's your first. I now release all energies, traumas, patterns, and anything from my ancestors is not in alignment with my highest good across all timelines, dimensions, and realms. And I claim everything that they did not get a chance to claim. If it, man, it's mine. I am free. I am free. I am free. And you better be claiming your ancestor stuff. Okay. I sit in peace, but I trust the process and I don't rush the process. Can we wait when it gets silent? Because you know what happens when it's silent? That means the proctor's in the room. That means the test is going, can't nobody talk. And if you talk, ain't nobody going to talk back to you, so you talking to yourself. I'm doing speaking engagements, podcasts that bring transformation. Signature topic: helping visionaries reconnect, reinvent, go through the rebirth process, and rise with confidence. We're all visionaries with our personal dreams. It's just we forgot about them while surviving life and we threw it in the back seat. It's time to bring it out of the back seat, hit it with a defibrillator, and tell it to come back to life. Okay, do CPR on your dreams. Not CPR on the relationships that's over, but CPR on your dreams. Teaching individuals how to return to themselves, quiet the noise on the inside. You can't do nothing with the outside. Live boldly on their own terms, guiding through mindset shifts, emotional relief, and soul level understanding. helping all of us navigate reinvention, rebirth, set boundaries, and find and rise into their own purpose with confidence. Because confidence is the missing substance to faith. Hi, my name is Renetta Cheston, the owner and founder of Life Success Results LLC. Soul igniter, trauma overcomer, holistic spiritual strategist. I work with the whole being from my level of training and education, mind, spirit, soul, and body. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in healthcare to understand and comprehend mental and public health. Because if you have a public health problem, you got a mental health problem. Wherever you see a public health problem, people are in shock. That's mental health. Massage therapy and Reiki and sound healing. Holistic practitioner, where we pull out all the impurities from the rooter to the tutor. Human design practitioner, we go back and look at the purpose from the beginning. Come back and look at all that generational baggage. When I was asked let's talk about it for real. God had asked me. When I was given this task of having uncomfortable conversations with others, I knew then my path would be a little different and probably a little standoffish until people began to do their own work. But it didn't stop me. I asked myself uncomfortable questions every day to get out of old patterns. I do the work every day, and it's not always easy or pretty. But I wake up to confront the areas in me, in love, that need a facelift so I can keep going forward. See, we keep working on the outside of us instead of we need to go inside. What will you do? What are you afraid of losing? Is it once you see that colonialism has played everyone, I mean everyone on the planet, you won't know what to do if you're not fighting each other, because that's all they know how to do is fight. So that's what they push down. They don't create nothing but fight. Okay. How about we find ways to have conversations that cause a pause to see things differently in all areas? This will cause us to quit blaming everybody else that we have around us for our problems and see where we might have truly missed it. We can only meet people truly where we have fully met ourselves. Remember that next time when you say you want a real relationship that requires a full mask removal, put it on the table and have conversations. Okay. We have many adults who were never taught how to feel safe. You became an adult and you was like, oh, I don't need to remember everything that happened in my childhood. But what you don't remember is your child and your inner teenager is always with you. And that is who your shadow is until you go in there and deal with it. So they seek safety and validation outside of themselves. Look at what I did today. Look what and a plethora of challenges because a plethora of challenges that occurred in childhood processes. So I ask you, what emotion from your childhood did you push in a corner and vow not to do or be what you saw as childhood? See, vows, we all made them, and they're playing out on a big stage right now. Maybe you vowed to be celibate because something happened. Maybe you vowed that you would never get married. Maybe you vowed to never have children. Maybe you vowed you would never be like your mother and your father. What you don't understand is these vows reverberate all the way through the universe. And until you crush these vows that you made, even a vow of poverty, until you crush these vows, they are living in your lives and stopping you from going further. See, all of us made vow. See the vows we all made is playing out on the big stage. Why that was so hard to say? I don't know. While we get to protest and speak our minds, are we help? Are we helping that little girl or boy on the inside of us heal? Because let's be honest, are we really helping that little girl or little boy on the inside of us heal? And I love it when I make mistakes. You know why I love it when I make mistakes? Because it shows that I'm human. I'm not a computer. And I have empathy and I have feelings and I'm here. That is your true shadow. That little girl and that little boy that you have hidden in the basement, and you have all that wood planked on there, and you like, no, no, no. And then one day you just find yourself crying and you don't know why you're crying. You find yourself angry and you don't know why you're angry. You find yourself about to blow up and you don't know why you're blowing up. It's that little girl and that little boy inside. And it's also generational, and yeah, it is in there. It's ancestral. It is in there. Because that little girl or boy grew up with people that knew your ancestors before you did. So it's all of that. It's everything. I'm being commissioned to aid in the process by sharing how I overcame everything meant to keep me from coming into my true identity. I had to believe in myself and God. See, God is on the inside of me, but I had to find me first. Why do I feel that way? Why is it triggering me? Why does it make me feel like that because that person said that? Is it me or is it them? Then I had to say, wait a minute, it could be. They just saying stuff. Maybe I got eggshells in here and they just cracked one and I'm over here tripping. You see what I'm saying? But I had to find me before I could even talk to God. Why? Because God is in my heart. God was talking to me, but I couldn't hear God. See, I had to find me and listen to my inner voice so I could hear God. I was hearing him, but not at the level that I'm hearing him now. We're taught that God is on the outside of us in the great by and by, but God is on the inside of us waiting to be tagged into our battles. Ephesians 6 and 2 Corinthians 10 and 5 says this. We're fighting principalities, rulers of the darkness, and spiritual wickedness in high places. Excuse me, confirmation, but this is when negative thinking has gone on for so long that it's the norm of society, and how the Bible would say the multitude. Let's break it down even further. We are a spirit being first. So the spiritual wickedness in high place, all of that, that is in the spirit realm. It's not over here in this realm. So you arguing with someone, but you're doing with principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what you're dealing with. And you fussing with a person, but you don't understand that we're spirits first. We're spirit beings first, living in a body. Because you can't be in this realm, this 3D, without a body. And we have a soul. We have an oversoul. You see what I'm saying? And so, because of that, you're not fighting a person, you're fighting a spirit. Again, Ephesians 6 and 2 Corinthians 10, look at both of them, you see what I'm talking about. This is why every ascended master, Jesus, Buddha, Hecate, Kalima, call them all out, Krishna, call them all out. All of them had to fight against this. The mindsets of us that complain don't want to do the work or don't know how to do the work, and it causes a dip in morale because we can't get out because it's ancestral and generational. The reason why I said call them all out, because once you call them all out, you see it's been a battle for a long time. A long time. 26,000 years, and we're at the 26,000 year mark. And they know it. And they know time is running out. Why you think everything is so much heavier? So to get out, it requires one to get uncomfortable, pass a plateau of complacency, or this is how we've always done it. Because it's easier to just let somebody think for you. But that's why we have a brain and 2 ears and a mouth. To speak up for yourself, think for yourself, listen to what they saying, and if you don't like it, you can say, eh. That's what spiritual law says you can do. Eh. And because you are worthy and you're born of a womb of a woman, you get to say, eh, I don't like that. And once you say that, oh, buddy, roll. The whole universe gets involved. You only need one person to say, eh. Just like we have all the Asian groups. But if you call one of the Asian groups another, they ready to fight. Why? Colonization and imperialism said that. Okay. Then you look at the Latinos and the Spanish. Calls one of them somebody else, they ready to fight you. Why? Same thing. Then you get the FBAs, Al Capone, and the African diaspora together. Because they told us to hate each other. Because everybody was told to stay away from the FBAs. You come to this country, you say, stay away from the FBAs. Why? Because we know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. We've been the red-headed stepchild since the beginning. Because we are been here since the beginning. And our name is changed 450 million times just so we don't get our birthright. So people say we don't have a culture, but we do. You know how I know we have a culture? Look at everybody else. Look how they wear their hats. Look how they wear their pants. Look how they wear their jerseys. Look how they dance. That's our culture. But you say we don't have a culture. But you running over here to be us. Okay. FBAs, listen to this. FBAs had to live with and find ways to live while fighting. We were basically Nehemiah. We are fighting and living at the same time. And you wonder why FBAs have high blood pressure, high and heart attack, and all of this stuff. We are fighting and living at the same time. And everybody thinks it is okay. Every group that comes to America thinks it is okay. And because somehow of the classism, we are the lowest one on the bottom. And we're told that we are disenfranchised, the minority, but we're not. We are the FBAs. We are the foundation of America. And everybody knows it. And that's why, because if you read the Bible, it says the Jews was the most hated by everyone. Well, don't nobody fit that but us. All right. So we're taught to fight because, but then the other ones weren't taught to fight. They was taught to let their leaders fight for them. So because you never fought before, your leaders keep things quiet in documents that's never been seen. So you don't know. People, when we've been here, it's been so in our face that we had to fight and work through it. Just saying. There are some freebies and a link from my podcast with the women's leveling up recently in the month of May. And then there was 3 magazines. It was so good being there. It was 3 magazines I've been carried in September, October, and December. Look at the description below to find the things that truly light you up and leave everything else behind. I cannot wait to talk to you soon. Remember to place the new link to my own personal bookstore. My books incorporate the essence of God. If you want to feel the presence of God, read In the Garden with the Father, Understanding True Intimacy. No matter what your background is, because it don't matter. God don't care nothing about your background. God know you. Page 86. Be still and know that I am God. Don't be tossed forward and backward by what others say. Whose report are you going to believe? Whose report will you believe? We shall believe the report of the Lord. Paul Wilbur. Choose this day and follow that voice. Okay, just like Jeremiah said, whose report are you going to believe? And I have 2 other books, Befriending the Shadow, Unshakable Peace, Unstoppable Change. Both of those books are shadow activity books to show you how you can release yourself out of that pain from your childhood and also bring your inner child and your inner teenager forward so y'all can work together as a team. So basically you get a word of knowledge, then you get an exercise fun, then you get a shadow question, not so fun. Because it makes you look at yourself in the mirror. Then you get the color page. The color page is between the age of 5 and 10. God asked me to keep it there because between the age of 5 and 10 is inner childhood wounded. That's when it begins. By the age of 7, it is solidified. By the age of 10, it is really solidified. By the age of 21 to 25, it is now your responsibility to heal from all that inner wounding. Okay? Through therapy, whatever way, counseling, whatever way you choose to go. Then I have 4 pages of sketching, drawing, doodling, whatever you want to do. Write down your dreams, write down your visions. And it's 22 chapters per book. Whatever you want to do. Why? Because the closer you get to God, You're going to have Stranger Things moments, and you're going to start having those moments where it's going to feel like the X-Files. You're going to be like, did that just happen? And I tell everybody, I tell them, tell your brain, yes, it happened. Because when you say it did not happen, you will cause yourself to go into a realm to where your brain will snap. That is not what you want to happen, okay? And then you have two other books that's already on the New York Times bestseller list. Influence and Impact with Chris Voss. There it is. Influence and Impact with Chris Voss. Mindset Matters with Jack Canfield. Get all of those on Amazon. My personal books, my journals are on my personal bookstore. Just to have something there, okay? Something personal that is neatly fit for you. No matter what your background, because God don't care about your background. God knows all the hairs in your head. Even if you just got peach fuzz, because you cut it all off. Notebooks and journals for all. Coloring books that help in meditating and recalibrating the mind. I'm excited about this venture because I'm in charge of my own intellectual property. Okay. Don't forget to look at the link to the 105 spiritual laws that govern the earth. Again, we're no longer underneath the law. We're under love and grace, which Jesus brought here for us, and we're staying underneath that, okay? Because if you go underneath the law, that means you need to go ahead and get you a whole bunch of goats and all of that. Look at my spirit team showing up. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter for the juicy updates and the upcoming events. The Adjective PDF, along with your 400 value PDF, put them together and change your whole Sims character to this janky promoter game. I did. Look at the link from my new school for the school app and getting things together. Come on over and talk with me. I was inducted into the new class of 2015. 2015. Why am I going back on to 2015? What happened over there? From 2025 of Who's Who and Influential Women and Worldwide Women as well. And then in 2017, I received this award for the work I was doing with my nonprofit. I was bringing women and young girls out of sex trafficking. I had a lot of help. And I looked up, everybody was gone. They went to go help somebody else. If people want to leave, let them go. Okay? Don't hold on to nobody. Nothing and nobody. Let it go. And then I helped the teenage girls who came out and said they were LGBTQAI. The young girls that came out and said they was pregnant to their parents, they kicked them out. And I put them in where I was at, or I put them in a place could be with other people that was just like them. And I checked on them until they said they was okay. And then we was good. And then I helped out people that was in domestic violence, or people that had their house had burnt down, or they had a flood. Child, let me tell you. I had a storage unit. First, I had it in my house. Then I had a storage unit. And then, because everybody knew I had a nonprofit, they would bring their beds and mattresses. And most of the time, I had brand new mattresses. And beds and clothes and shoes and stuff like that. Child, I used that stuff and put it in the storage. And people would come and I'd say, how many bedrooms you got? And they would say that many. And I would say, only take what you need, because somebody else is coming. They said, okay, honey, let me tell you. And then I would give them little Ziploc bags with his toothbrush, toothpaste, and stuff like that. Little simple things, because you done lost everything. Yes, the Red Cross is coming to help you out, but I don't know how long that red tape is going to take. So I'm making sure they had simple stuff. And the women, I gave them the menstrual things and, the baggies with that. And then I made sure they had fingernail polish and fingernail polish remover. Then I also made sure I gave them the gift cards with $20 on it, so they could go ahead and get underwear, T-shirts, whatever they needed right now. Socks, whatever you need right now, because you done lost everything in a second. So they're in shock. So just get the stuff you have right now. So again, I said, if you got a public health problem, you got a mental health problem. We don't think of it like that, but you just lost everything in seconds. That means you're having to start over from scratch. I've been there. I've been homeless. I know what that feels like. And I didn't want nobody to... I know what it feels like, and not having someone to help you. You understand the process. And then I helped out this young lady who needed assistance because she had just got laid off on her job, and then she was saying that the job was laying off everybody in December for Christmas. So I found that she gave me the names that she could remember. I put them in a bowl, pulled out 2 of the names, called the families, found out how many children they had. Their children got 2 gifts each child, because that's what I could do. And then I made sure that they had catered Christmas meal from Honey Baked Ham. And then I bought them $150 worth of groceries each house. So while they're searching for a job, that's one less thing they have to be concerned about. While they were also going to pantries, but pantries weren't taking care of their special needs, okay? Because sometimes they had special needs children and they needed special stuff, okay? So I was doing stuff like that. And I'm glad that God said, what you do in private, he rewards you in public. Because everybody don't need to know what you're doing. He don't need all that fanfare. I put some of the pictures up on my webpage, Refuge Women's Transition Center, but I didn't put the pictures of the women that I was bringing out of sex trafficking and domestic violence and them children. I didn't feel, it didn't sit right with me, so I didn't put those pictures up, but I put up the rest of the pictures of helping single parents and stuff like that. I did that part, but I didn't feel right with the children and people in domestic violence. Honey, I'm just so glad that God don't forget what you do, because people forget. They get the help and then they just get amnesia like you helped them. I'm glad God don't do that. I'm glad God just loves you and don't ever forget. God puts it inside the book, and then do like the king in the book of Esther. Did they ever receive a reward for this? Let's go ahead and look at this. Don't forget to look at the link to receive 25% off your first order. This is the company that I use again with all natural remedies for my assistance for the diagnosis of breast cancer. I didn't take none of the cancer treatment. I didn't take none of that stuff. I took natural things out of my backyard and 100% silver shield. I had a naturopathic doctor, sure did. And a naturopathic doctor, and I poured out everything that Dr. Sebi said on being natural, on being alkaline, showed it to her, and she said, okay, this is cool, but this, and this is going to cause acid in your stomach. We need you to be alkaline as possible. I said, say less. So I did that, went home, talked to God, talked to her, got all that done, and then my ancestor said, get that dandelion, get that morning glory. Remember morning glory, you can dry it up and you can smoke it if you smoke weed and you can't afford it. There you go. And then also, and it's in your backyard. It's free. Just go dig it up. And then that crabgrass. Crabgrass is the darkest part of your yard. Go out there and you see the darkest part of your yard, and it's got grass that's coming up out of that darkest part. That part that's coming up is called crabgrass. But if you dig it up, it is really scallions. It's wild scallions. Our ancestors lived off this. When they say they lived off the land, they lived off the land. And it tastes amazing. Okay? And then poke salad. Poke salad looks like cilantro and lettuce had a baby together and it's serrated around the edges. In this country, they sell it as cilantro. But it's really, I looked at it, I said, oh, that's poke salad. They said cilantro. I was like, oh my God. So, yeah. And it's got like a nutty flavor to it. It's got a nutty flavor, and it's got a minty. You got to try it for yourself. It's delicious. And I put it on top of spinach, underneath my jasmine rice, and the jasmine rice was hot, and it wilted it. Ooh, and it made it taste so good. It was fresh. So because it was fresh, it went down in my belly and did what it needed to do. Because that chlorophyll, you want that chlorophyll. And you don't want to mess it up. You want that chlorophyll to be fresh so it gets into the body and does what it needs to do. Honey, child. And I had squash, zucchini, red onions, red orange, and yellow bell peppers, child. And then I would add seafood every now and then, child. You ain't gonna tell. And then every once in a while, my naturopathic doctor would say, this month I'm gonna need you. Because I was underneath her care, I think about 3.5 months. She said, this month I'm gonna need you to get some red meat in you at least twice a month because your white blood cells are low. We need your T cells high enough to keep fighting this disease. I said, okay, say less. Because when you're trying to stay here, you're doing what you need to do. That's why I said, look at your blood type, do what you need to do for yourself. Okay? And pay attention to what your body needs, because you can't do everything somebody else doing. And I mess around and have you in a casket. Okay? Father God, I thank you for this. I thank you for this word. I thank you for how you love me. I thank you for how you keep me. I thank you. I thank you for even the butt whoopings, because that lets me know that you have not given me over to a reprobate mind. Let me tell you something. When God give you over to a reprobate mind, that means you in a corner. You trying to figure this out the best way you can. You are lost. Ain't nobody got time for that. I don't see how walking without God. I can't see it. I can't see it. And then I just thank you, God. We are not disenfranchised. We are not the minority. We are not that. We are FBAs. We are the foundation of America. Father God, and honey, child, they told us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. And we did, and we was doing good. They came and took the boots and the shoestrings. So we went over there to the bamboo, got the bamboo, made some shoes. Then after we made the shoes, we got some shoestrings from Vines. And they were telling me, wait a minute, we took everything that you had and you still going? Child, we come from ancestors that will find a way and will make a way. If they lived through what they lived through, oh, we got this thing in the bag. Oof, I just want to thank you for being here, and don't forget to share and subscribe and visit and come and visit with me for a while. I thank you so much for being here, because you could have been anywhere in the world and you decided to come and visit me. I send nothing but cleansing and purifying energy to you, and I pray you stay on your path and you grind into your path, and that you flow with God. And when God say turn left, you go left, and when God say turn right, you go right, and when God say sit still, you sit still, because there's a purpose in it all. Does it feel good? But be in your purpose, be in your flow, and ignore the outside noise. I love you in the love of the Lord. Have a great evening. Good night.